I taste the dark, lipstick poison, leaving your marks on the whisper. Your veins calling softly, driving you insane. Lace and leather, wrapped in sin. Heaven's lost, but hell lets me in. I'm the siren you can't deny. Crimson smile, sharp like a knife. I'm your craven, suffocating. Sweet obsession, no salvation. Venom in bloom, I blossom in fire. Twisting in love with every desire. You fall to your knees, but you'll never let go. I'm the chaos you crave, the high and the...
Hello, and welcome to another solo session for Bear County by Night. I'm your storyteller, Crocheting Guinea Pig, or Bonnie, or don't call me late for dinner. I don't really care. But yeah, this is another solo session we're having, and let's get some introductions, starting with our lovely Toreador player, Silver.
Hey there, I am Evie Nix. I will be playing Silver tonight. And I will pass it on over.
Yeah, so I am Dapper Zombie, or Felber, and I am once again stepping into the cozy sweaters of Bernard Brandt to help introduce more young vampires to this whole shit show.
We do love a good cozy sweater. Okay. So, tonight's date is November the 4th. The sun will be setting at 5:46 p.m. It's November, so of course the sun's gonna be setting a little later on. And let's start off with a rouse check from our lovely Silver to see if she gets any hungrier when she wakes up.
That will be the eternal question.
Mm-hmm.
And
roll the beautiful bean footage. Okay, so yeah. So it's almost like waking up out of that really good deep sleep, the kind where like you're dead to the world, literally in this case, and you feel life slam back into your body, almost the equivalent of when you have a dream that you're falling and you snap awake and your body's kind of buzzing and vibrating there for a little bit. It's almost like that. So it's that feeling of like that buzzing. Then you feel the pain of your bones snapping back into place, because when you died, you were trampled to death. So you feel the bones snapping back into place. There's momentary just cracks of pain all up and down your. I don't want to say skeleton, but you know what I mean. So as that happens, what are you doing? What are you thinking about?
I think Silver sits on the floor there for a little bit and is just like kind of massaging the joints of everything snapping back together, and she's like, just under her own breath, just like, fuck, that's never going to be something I get used to, and kind of having not really had too long to adjust to this new situation. She just kind of just going to sit there on the floor of her room and kind of try and find a little bit of peace before she gets up to just kind of like look at a mirror and get herself put together.
So you said you went to go look at a mirror?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find one. Okay. So whenever you look at the mirror, you're still a brand new vampire. You're not gonna look probably as desiccated as some of the older vampires in the city would look, but there's a deathly pallor to your face. There's dark circles under your eyes. Your cheeks are kind of sunken in a little bit. There's no light behind your eyes at all. Your pupils are kind of blown a little bit, like, because when you die, your pupils kind of blow out a little bit, kind of extend. So how do you feel about that, seeing that reflection?
Yeah, she sits there and just kind of takes in that image and just nods to herself and just like, well, Mama said I would end up somewhere. I didn't expect it to be this. And you know what? Fuck her. And kind of delves into, is it fair to say that she might would have a little like makeup box in the bathroom to kind of...
Yeah, there would have been. I did this with Mavis too. There would have been like a couple of like Walmart bags with the basics, just a few like plain like colored T-shirts, some jeans. It's a rough guesstimation of your size because someone wants to go grab it for you. So yeah, T-shirts, maybe a couple pairs of jeans, maybe like a little cosmetics box or something, just like the cheap stuff, like like the little eyeshadow palettes you get for like a 12-year-old or something. Just like the cheapest stuff they could grab off the shelf because it was done in a rush. But yeah, there's 100% a cosmetics box in there.
So I think she spends a little time kind of scoots herself up on the side of the sink and just makes herself comfortable and kind of puts together her face as best she can.
Okay, so as you're sitting there putting your face together, probably the same way you would put on makeup as a human, as you're kind of putting the makeup on, you maybe remembering your face as it was whenever you were alive. And as that's coming back to you because you're remembering how to put your makeup on to cover everything else up, give me another rush check for the blush of life.
All right. Let's see. Oh,
actually, hold on. What humanity are you? What humanity are you? Did we say?
I don't know if we ever actually said. Yeah, I don't have anything marked for that, so I don't know if we've ever actually. I don't think you and I had that conversation when making.
So let's do this. So fresh off the fang baby vampires, unless there's like extenuated circumstances, like you were a murderer in your life, they typically start off at humanity 8.
Okay.
So you already made the rouse check.
I have not done that yet. I don't think.
So go ahead, backspace, and you're going to hit /V, and click on where it says pool.
Okay, so that's the rouse check for you, and then you said /V pool.
Okay, well, since you made one, so the way this will work with the humanity 8, you would get to roll 2 dice for your blush, and you would take the higher.
It would be 7. 7 is default.
Oh, what's going on?
Our one yesterday was consensualist, which bumps them up 1. That's why they were 8.
Oh.
So you start at 7. So unless they have a predator type that bumps them up, then they would just have the normal rolls.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, so yeah, you're good. So it's just the 1. So yeah, you feel like a slight hunger, like you haven't eaten in a few hours type of thing. You start to feel like a little twinges of hunger, but it's not for any food. And knowing what you are now, you can probably put 2 and 2 together as to what you're probably hungry for. So how would you like to handle that?
I think, well, with her past conversation with the prince and like having like a glass with him, I think she's kind of not necessarily like fully come to grips, I'd say, with it, but she's like, all right, well, this is what needs to happen. But she doesn't know like how she would go about doing it. So it's kind of that mixture of I know what I need to do, don't necessarily fully get why, but I do, but I don't. Kind of that mixture.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that 100% makes sense.
And she's like, well, I don't know what's the plan, because I've been kind of just stuck here.
So as you're kind of sitting there wondering how you're going to go about getting what you need here tonight, you do have one dot of herd, and it occurs to you that you've got followers that would do anything. Anything for you. And since it's a one dot herd, you got maybe just like a small core, 2 or 3 people that would hardcore do anything for you.
Yep, that's true. And so that's kind of she's mulling because they took her old phone
Right.
back at the prince's, so she would have to try and get somebody to meet her somewhere, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, with the old, everything was cloned onto the new one, so
Oh,
all of
okay.
your contacts, everything you had on there was cloned. It's just
Oh, okay. Cool, cool,
these
cool,
new
cool,
devices are masquerade safe.
cool.
That's the only difference.
Cool. All right, all right. Um, do I have like the freedom to leave this place, or is it like I'm not allowed to go anywhere just yet? Essentially,
I mean, he never explicitly stated you weren't allowed to leave, did he?
that's true.
He just said he was putting you up for the night.
Hmm. So after she's kind of got her face put together, I think she kind of goes into the other room, sits down, and kind of flicks through her phone, and kind of is trying to decide between a couple of names that leap to mind that she could theoretically get a hold of
Okay.
and would kind of jump at the ability to see her kind of thing.
Okay. So, yeah, is there a name you have in mind, or?
Let's go with there's a woman named Clover that she knows who
Okay.
has a super frequent to anything that Silver runs.
Okay, so yeah, you give Clover a call. It rings once, twice, clicks on. Oh my God, Silver? Oh my God, are you
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, there was some craziness that happened at that party that I ended up going to. I know that I'm sure that you heard about that I was got a little entourage together to go to.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna go. I just had those assignments to do for my teacher, and I couldn't make it. I was at a deadline.
Oh, no worry, darling. You're totally fine. So I've got a question for you. Um I am floating right now and was just kind of trying to have some company, I think, for the time being, because things are kind of in flux currently, I think. And I don't know when I will be able to kind of get back to my normal. I want to check in with everybody, see how you're all doing.
Uh, oh, okay. Yeah, where are you? I can pick you up. Do you want to go meet somewhere, or can I go meet you where you're at now, or?
I think I could meet you where I am. Yeah. And because I'm staying at, what was the name of the,
The Emily Morgan Hotel.
thank you. I'm currently just floating right now at the Emily Morgan Hotel, if you know where that is.
Oh yeah, that one medical hospital turned into a whole hotel. That's supposed to be haunted as hell. What are you doing there?
Well, I ended up getting knocked over and had to spend a couple nights in the hospital. And, I was just like, let's seek some experiences. So I decided to stay here for the time being while I kind of recuperate.
You are so fucking cool. Okay, yeah, I'll be there in a little bit. I'm gonna head out right now to hear like the rustling sounds of her getting purse, keys, phone, wallet, everything together. Yeah, I'll be there soon. Click.
All right.
So, another maybe 10, 20 minutes or so. You'd get a message that Clover's downstairs.
Okay. So I will go down and meet her in the lobby.
And she'll like bound forward and give you a huge hug. I'm so glad you're okay. You look a little pale. And even though the blush of life put more color, you're still got a little bit of paleness, maybe a little bit of hollowness in your cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
You look a little pale. You okay? If you get enough sun, she'll kind of like put her hand to your forehead, check your, just kind of looking you over, almost like a mother hen type thing, just babbling the whole time.
Oh yeah, when you spend a few nights in the hospital, it really just kind of takes it out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I will kind of kind of escort her to, is there like a lounge or like kind of out of the,
Yeah, we would say there's like a small bar. It's a little later on. It's still evening time, so there's probably a few people there. We could find a little secluded booth in the back, far enough away that no one will overhear you.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it just throws the whole your whole body and system into a mess. And so yeah, no, I'm trying to get back on my feet.
Oh, okay. Did you need someone to pick up your stuff? I haven't seen this outfit before. She's kind of plucking at your shirt. Do you need someone to go pick up your stuff? I can do that for you.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I would be very grateful for that. It would be, it's always nice to be able to not have to rely on whatever the clinical places just throw at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So as you're kind of doing this little song and dance with her, roll me a manipulation and subterfuge to kind of, just talk your way to getting closer and closer until you can get that little sip.
Sounds good.
And don't forget to add your hunger. You're at hunger too.
Okay, so I'm doing a roll, right?
Right.
Thank you. Just making sure I have the right things. So
no, you're good. This dice spot's a learning curve, so yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. So I've got 4. You said that's 5, and then tab for hunger, which is 2.
Right. Okay, right. So you have an option here, and maybe if you're watching this, I'm sorry about this. I didn't think about this for your rolls. You have an option to use your willpower. You can re-roll up to 3 dice. Well, 2 in this case. It only re-roll the 2 black dice for you. But you can use your will to give yourself more power to it, if that makes sense. I'm bad at explaining this.
No worries.
Do you want to do that? Because right now, you need at least 3.
Okay, yeah. So that would make sense. Let's do that.
You're gonna click select reroll right there.
Select reroll. Okay.
Yes.
And I can just click the 2. Okay, I can.
Yes, the 2 to say fail.
Yep, 2 to say fail, and then just hit enter.
Or just click outside the box; it'll roll it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy enough.
Hey, look at that.
We'll take that. That's a much better situation there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that full dice because you're just beginning, so I'm not gonna. Because normally, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Felbert, one of the skills will negate.
That doesn't negate. That's a V20 thing. That the skill there is just if they had not had enough successes, that is bestial failure.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're only 1 with a skull because that's a 1 on a hunger dice. A 1 on a hunger dice only comes up if you don't get enough successes to pass, and then it becomes not a failure; it becomes a bestial failure.
Ooh.
So
okay. So if she hadn't rerolled, that would have.
Yes, all the downside of a messy critical without succeeding. So.
And that's why Felber's on my SBC team, because I'm learning this shit, and he's been playing this shit for years now. So thank you, Felber. So you got your 3. So while she's babbling, talking away about just anything and everything you can imagine, you can lean in and get your drink.
Okay.
And the thing with the kiss, it's you didn't experience this really because you were under so much terror at the party. But for anyone else, the kiss is an intense wave of pleasure.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into too many details because it's going to be on Twitch, but it's an intense wave of pleasure. So she'll kind of her body will kind of mellow and she'll kind of lean into it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to get back down to hunger 1. You don't have to take a whole lot because you have to go down 1 hunger. So you're down to hunger 1 again.
Fantastic.
And the way it works, as you pull away, you can lick the wound and it'll seal off. So you don't have to worry about her bleeding out all over the place.
We love that. We don't need it. We don't need a dead Clover. We'll keep. I like her. We want to keep her around.
Yes, we definitely love Clover. So as you kind of lick the wound shut, she'll kind of slump against you for a second. Then her eyes will kind of flutter open. What was that?
Oh, I'm just, darling. We've done. You've been to some of my what's the word? The hold on a second. I'm having a
Oh, is that the one time where we went to that dungeon and did those things and she'll kind of do that whole thing?
oh, exactly, darling. You know that the love of the universe, you know.
Yeah.
That was a
Okay.
good time. We'll need to do another one of those at some point in the future.
Yeah, and she's got her eyes are glazed over a little bit. She's a little dazed, just a little bit. But
Mhm.
you'll wrap up that conversation. You'll give her your house key so she can get to your house and get your stuff, and she'll kind of toddle off, still just a tiny little bit, like she's a little bit buzzed.
Mhm.
And as you're kind of sitting there, you will see someone in a very cozy looking sweater walk in with a cat draped around his shoulders. And he'll see Clover kind of walk out the door as he's walking in and kind of see you follow, like your gaze kind of following after her,
Mhm.
and he'll kind of make his way over to you. So, Bernard, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Bernard will, like, kind of, as he approaches, will kind of nudge the cat, and the cat will jump down and kind of move towards the entranceway to the kind of lounge that we're in, and kind of park itself there. Miss Bright, right?
Yes.
Ah, good. You didn't make it too far. I think you are supposed to come with me tonight.
Oh, I actually get to learn new things. All right. You and I kind of get to my feet and reach out my hand. And you are
Bernard Brandt. We'll
very
take your
good.
hand.
Pleasure to meet you.
And we have a bit of a trip, because we're heading out of where we are now into Torter territory, correct?
No, where you are going to be headed, it's a place called Travis Park.
Okay.
So, that's in Central City. It's neutral. No one that really has a claim on it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You had mentioned that I have permission to cross territory when I have a baby with me, so
Yes.
I didn't know where we were headed because I haven't
No,
looked at
that's
the map
fine.
to see where things are.
Yeah, and I gotta drop the map actually, but yeah, you're right. If going into a territory, yeah, if you have a baby with you, that's fine. But like I said, I made it
Cool.
neutral specifically so we didn't have to worry about that for any of
Awesome.
these, really.
We have
That's a secret
people-
mouse tool that'll help us later.
some people to meet tonight to get you more established
All right.
before any obligation is placed upon you and your compatriots.
Sounds like a plan to me. I'm always a fan of more information.
That is my job somewhat. I will be acting as your guide for the evening, and should you have any questions, feel free to ask. We have a bit of a walk, so I'm here to answer any questions you might still have.
All right.
So, yeah, y'all will get up and start making your way towards the park. It's I'll get the map going. It's not very far because the Morgan Hotel and Travis Park are all, like I said, in Central City. So, yeah, maybe like a 10-15 minute walk if anything. So, talk amongst yourselves. Any questions you have, go for it. This is your time.
Okay, so I turn to Bernard, and one of the questions that has kind of been burning in her mind. So, is it really true that His Majesty is actually the most powerful man in the city, or is this just something that he proclaims himself?
Depends on how you define power, mostly. Politically, yes. Physically, I don't know. There's those who might throw down against him and come out on top, but it's not how we normally decide things.
Mm-hmm.
But
The good old
for all
mind
intents and
games.
purpose, yes, he is the most powerful, at least as far as you're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
His word is law is not a strong enough word. Biblical is more appropriate.
seems to be that. I was curious just because with how quickly he said something was to be done and how fast it happened, it is kind of a jarring thing coming from not knowing any of this existed to
How familiar are you with feudal titles and the system of governance that happened during that time?
I have, the average knowledge, I would say. I enjoyed history, but was never something I delved constantly into.
He is something along what you would call a liege lord. We, underneath him, serve and exist at his discretion at the moment. But that means that his word is law, his demands are commands more. And if we'd like to continue existing within his domain, which is the city, we try to make sure that we live up to those things.
I see.
In return, he provides a stable city. There's not a constant fighting between people for power. He will dole out territories and feeding grounds, things like that. There is a give and take.
Mm-hmm. I see. That makes sense. Oh, what was I going to say? I had a question. So from what I gather, just from hearing things being said around me, I'm not supposed to exist.
Well, you were made without permission.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the very large rules. Is we keep a fairly tight rein on our population for any number of reasons: control, safety, those sorts of things, humanity, those sorts of things. And you were made without permission. So, in another city with a different prince, you might not have had such a warm welcome.
Mm-hmm. He seems to be willing to have listened to something I requested from my initial meeting with him, and I'm not so sure how much, with words being and commands being on a biblical sense, how powerful is the word of a prince?
Within their domain, absolute. Outside of it, well, there are people above him. There is council and the tower as a whole that stands above him, justicars and archons and the council and things like that that are much older and much larger. But within the city, his word is absolute.
Because I had a conversation with him about potentially having some revenge on who did this to me, because they have definitely destroyed my life and have killed me, and he seemed receptive to that, and I'm not sure what his stance on that really was.
Not to downplay your ability or how justified your revenge might be, but it's a bit like the fresh pup trying to take on the full pack at this point.
Exactly.
Survive, make yourself useful. I have a feeling that most of those, well, at least some of those that are responsible, have already met their final end. Don't suffer the Sabbat for long. They infest and spread in a way that is, well, not healthy for anyone.
Hmm.
So,
Well,
but
that's good to hear.
I'm sure at some point there will be an opportunity to get your pound of flesh.
I like that. Thank you.
So,
I'm not going to try and turn down that instinct. The Sabbat are a problem for us all.
so y'all are kind of making your way through the city, crossing streets, seeing other late night or still early evening, late night people walking around. People making their way home from work, classes, whatever, what have you. And Bernard, at one point you realize that Melville's missing. And as you look back, there's a gaggle of girls petting. Oh my god, he's so cute! Look at him! I just want to pet him. Can I take him home?
He just turns around and whistles real sharp.
And he's on his back getting belly scratches a little bit. He'll kind of, but dad, but he'll trot off.
And as he gets closer, he will do the same kind of thing he did before, where he will send off the cat ahead of them to go let who they're going to meet know that they are on the way.
Yeah, and he'll kind of begrudgingly trudge off, but he'll he'll scout ahead.
Yeah, so you hear Bernard like make animal sounds
Mhm.
at the cat, and the cat seems to respond and then takes off ahead of them.
So I would have to assume there's a level of accuracy to the human folklore mythos that is stuff like vampire Nosferatu kind of thing.
Almost all of it has some basis in truth. All of it has some kernel, but the folklore that has been allowed to propagate does, well, conflate things and display weaknesses that perhaps we don't actually have. Will make things, the kindred as a whole have let things like Nosferatu exist as a property because it tells you that monsters are scary, ugly things,
Mhm.
and then you're not looking for, well, the normal people. They let properties say garlic and crosses work on all of us, because if it doesn't, then obviously I can't be a monster. But there are some kernels of truth. There are some that are driven away by those things. There are some that are affected by such a curse to twist you into a beast that might be hard to pass for human.
Understood. That makes sense. And a word you said there, the Sabbat. Where do they fit in alongside the you said tower earlier?
Uh, the Sabbat are a death cult.
Ooh.
They are vampire supremacists who wish to rule over humanity as though they were cattle, essentially. They want to destroy the eldest of us and seize control of the world. And mostly, it has gotten them killed by the droves, and a lot of us along the way.
Yeah, those death cults. We can just look at regular human history to see that that doesn't tend to work well.
Well, sometimes it does.
Well, yeah.
Catholic Church is a fine example.
I was going to say they do exist. They are the one I could think of, but Heaven's Gate, Jonestown, we can think of those as well. But they didn't get as much traction for whatever reason as the Catholic Church.
True. And for what it's worth, the faith that these monsters have does have power. They can do things that the rest of us sometimes can't, but they don't have as much concern about the need for secrecy, the rules that we've all decided to live by, and such. They draw attention where they should not.
Yes. I could see how that would lead to problems.
So y'all are still making your way to the park, and you turn a corner, and this is the park that you would see. It's an SPC wardrobe on the server.
Okay.
You would see this park that's accessible from about 8 different angles, actually. Wow, that's impressive. It's a circular park, and waiting for you in that little central area where the tower is, you will see. Don't zoom in. Come here, you gorgeous, gorgeous man. You will see this gentleman kind of milling about that central area with this woman on his arm. They're just kind of slowly strolling around. It's like the little garden area there. There's not many flowers because it's getting to the colder months, but there's still like a decent amount of grass, and Melville is probably rolling around in the grass, just enjoying the evening so far. Do you approach this couple? And Bernard, you would recognize this as the seneschal.
I imagine that Melville is like perched up on the little fountain thing there in the center.
100%.
But Bernard will lead the way towards the seneschal.
Mm-hmm. I'll just follow Bernard, and I might like loop my arm into his if he is receptive to that.
He's not against it.
So as you two kind of walk up, the gentleman would kind of stop and, Bernard, is this her?
Yes, one of the new adoptees, yes.
And he'll give a nod and turn to the woman on his arm, kind of unloop her arm and kind of kiss her hand. Stella, my dear, if you would excuse me. And she would give a little, almost like a little quick little curtsy. And she'll walk away. But as she passes you, Silver, she'll kind of look you up and down with a side eye kind of look. You probably seen the look before. She'll kind of do that and kind of snort and just keep walking. But the man doesn't take any notice of that. But how do you react to that?
Silver will just kind of look at her, and like watch her go, and then just kind of snort back and just be like, hussy. All right, moving on.
So you probably don't see it, but you'll hear like the click of her heels stop. Then she'll keep walking. And the man is kind of like suppressing a grin at all this, and he'll kind of shake his head. You'll have to forgive her. Before you came along, she was the youngest one in the group, and she considered herself my child, though there was no formal adoption ever taken. But my name is Carlos, and he'll hold his hand out. And you are?
I am Silver Bright. I ran a business here in the city, just teaching people how to be happy and living authentic lives.
You have to tell me more about that sometime. And he'll look at Bernard. Would you excuse us, please?
Yeah, of course.
And
he will take you'll find a bench, sit down, and then pull a book out of and just sit and read.
Yeah, for sure. So Carlos will kind of like, he won't like take your hand or anything because he doesn't know boundaries or anything like that. But he'll kind of put like an arm, not like around you physically, but just kind of like guiding you. Tell me more about it, my dear.
I came to Texas after having run away from a stifling childhood in the North, and having spent time dancing in clubs and the like, I eventually came to meet my former partner, or my partner as it is, but I would say former at this point because my life has been stolen from me. Who she and I created the clinic that we opened together, specializing in yoga, breathing, dance, plant medicine.
So or more, what is it called? Holistic approach then.
Exactly.
See. Well, let me be the first to apologize for your entrance into this world. You did not ask for it. But here you are, so all we can do is try to make the best of it, such as it was. That's why I decided to take you under my wing.
So why is it that you decided to take me under my wing? I am assuming you are not the one who killed me, or am I mistaken?
No, I'm not. Here, let's take a seat and I'll explain. And he'll kind of gesture. There's probably like wire, iron wrought tables here and there. So he'll probably gesture to one. He'll pull your seat up for you and tuck you back in, and he'll sit across from you. There are rules within our society. The reason why I, more for lack of a better term, adopted you was the rule for what we call accounting. In this sect that we live in called the Camarilla, which I'm sure Prince explained a little bit to you of the traditions.
Mm-hmm.
There's one called, like I said, accounting, where a fledgling or child such as yourself needs to be accounted for, taught our ways, taught how to survive, because an unchecked fledgling only causes trouble. So it's my responsibility, it's my duty to teach you how to survive in these nights. I'm responsible for you as much as a parent could be for a human child.
Understood.
How much has the prince gone over with you?
Well, he went over the fact that myself and the others weren't supposed to exist. He explained that in other cities in the world, we may not have been given the opportunity to exist, even though it's not our fault that we are here.
That is an unfortunate truth to this world, yes.
He also explained in not grand detail the need for what we now see as food, and alluded to an amount of powers to be had, but he kind of left things vague.
And you'll see Carlos just kind of smiling and giving a note, or nodding and giving a knowing smile. Illusions and secrecy are native to our kind, especially to certain clans, but you are of what is called Clan Toreador, as am I. We are also known as Roses, sometimes Deviants, and he'll give like a little smirk. The powers that we have, and he'll kind of drop his voice. We have powers over being able to manipulate one's emotions, height, We have other powers that we can heighten our senses with. We have the powers of speed and acceleration as well.
All
And
right.
he will. Oh, shit. And he will kind of look at another couple who's having another conversation. You see that couple over there?
Mm-hmm.
And you have his. You don't. So he'll kind of like focus for a little bit, like he's listening. They're gonna be going through a divorce. She cheated on him, and if you look over, you'll even see her pulling out a sheaf of paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
They've been married for about 3 years. He's kind of looking back and forth. We're talking about liquidation of assets right now. It's rather boring stuff. But that is one of the abilities that Auspex gives us. Keener hearing, sharper senses, that type of thing. And you, my dear, also have access to these abilities as well. We just don't know what they are right now. Some come with the embrace, others you will develop. As to what those will be, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
Only time will tell, I imagine.
Is there... What else would you like to know? I'm an open book.
So, Toreador, roses, and clans, you said. The prince did not quite get into the splitting of our society.
By splitting, what do you mean?
Well, Bernard over there was able to speak with his cat along our travels here, so I assume he is not Toreador?
That's correct. Certain abilities are kept within certain families, for lack of a better term. He is of what's called Clan Gangrel. They tend to be more animalistic. They have more to do with animals, the more primal urges of all of us. They are the closest to the beast in our society.
And how would you describe the beast that you speak of? I know that the prince referenced it but never gave a definition.
It is your most primal instincts. I'm sure when you woke up this morning, did you happen to feel a hunger gnawing at you out of nowhere?
Not until I was kind of preparing my face to not look like a corpse.
That's what we call the blush of life. That is the face you show to the world. Because if you were to walk around without activating your blush, you would just be a walking corpse. And that is, how do you say, a big no-no.
I would imagine.
But when your hunger grew, it grows in increments depending on the powers you use or the abilities or just the sheer willpower you put into these abilities. But it can definitely get worse to the point where you can go into what's called a frenzy where your beast would essentially take control. It only knows hunger. It only knows rage. So it is your responsibility to keep this in check as best you can. If you cannot, consequences will be severe depending on who and how and where and why you frenzy.
Makes sense to me.
It could be caused by, like I said, hunger. It can be caused if you happen to come across an inferno. The beast does not like fire, does not like sunlight. Those mythological things about it are true, but there are other things: loss of a loved one, there's any kind of intense rage. There are many things that can trigger it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to always be monitoring yourself for things like that. and it manifests as a voice in the back of your head. Think the worst you've ever felt. That voice in the back of your head when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down on yourself. Amplify that by 10. That's the beast.
Beautiful. We love that. Oh dear. And what was something else that came to mind? Bernard referenced that the prince allocates territory in the city, and he also told me, not the prince himself, told me that he would try to think of something to make not just myself, but the others who were found useful. And what does that look like? I assume, obviously, you and Bernard have been tasked here with taking care of myself and other newly minted kindred, but what are we meant to do in this life?
Well, to answer your first question about territory, yes, the prince does allocate territory by clan. So the Toreador as a whole have a certain section of the city where we can freely feed from, but we also have to maintain it. Any masquerade breaches within it falls on our heads. Territories are not given lightly. They are done out of service, like Bernard over there. He gained his the small scrap of territory that he has for services he provided to the city on the night the attack happened. He got brain farted. He got many non-combatants to safety and shelter, and as a reward, the prince rewarded him with a scrap of territory that he is free to hunt in without any consequences, but again, that he also has to maintain and keep safe from masquerade breaches. And the other clans have their own territories as well. I can provide a map so you know roughly where they are. And out of game, I'll be dropping the map. I just need to get around to doing it. The service. Yes, you will be required to provide some kind of a service. For example, we have a sheriff's department who has deputies that help with rounding up masquerade breachers. It doesn't happen often. When it does happen, they're the ones you call. And you can talk to clan leadership like me. I can find you something to do and make yourself useful with that. Or your other fellow Toreador, like Estella that you saw over there. Maybe there's something you can help her with. But we don't appreciate idleness, especially not of our fledglings. So, but it's also understood that since you are new, you are not expected to jump into service right away. Because you need to get a handle on things. You need the stuff that you need to maintain and do before you're any kind of ready. So there will be a grace period.
And what do we do in the sense that I am a known figure in the city?
That, unfortunately, as of right now, you're still young. You are only 2, possibly 3 nights old at this point. You can maintain your identity as the famous person that you were. It will just have to look different. You'll have to shift to a nighttime routine.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you have to operate within the bounds of the masquerade. Nobody can know what you are. You can still operate as you were before, just with much more secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
But after a certain amount of time, say 10 years down the road, maybe even 5 years down the road, depending on it, you may have to shift to a new identity or a new mask, as we call it, because you're immortal now. People will notice if you're not aging. But that's something down the road. For right now, you can operate as you were. Again, like I said, just with more more secrecy and more what's the word for? The other word. But yeah, just be more careful. This is all I can say.
Oh, right. So I guess that you should probably know. And I'll just like, one of the things I'll just do for him is give him like where the address is of my clinic so he knows where in the city.
Okay. And he'll pull a little small notebook out of his suit pocket and just start jotting all this down.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something you're worried about right now? Is there something we need to do to make it secure?
Well, I don't know well, I guess we'll need to look into whether or not it's safe for me to go there, or if it's Bernard referenced the Sabbat earlier, and so I don't know if it's there, if it's in their space, if it's in our space. Is it
okay? Well, from what I know, this actually falls just outside of Toreador territory. It doesn't have any. The Sabbat are not in the city. We drove them out that night of the attack.
All right.
And like I said, your clinic is right next door to our territory, so you're not far from home.
Okay, well, that's good to know at least. So no, I think with that there, that's good to know.
And I'm gonna pause the recording and hold on. Okay, and welcome back. So, where do we leave off on the conversation? I think you had another question.
So yeah, we were just talking about the clinic, and I think from there, Silver's kind of like had so much information kind of given to her, and kind of is like mulling it all over.
Yeah. How's that going? Because this was a big info dump. How's she feeling in all this?
It's a lot.
Kind of winds down. Yeah.
It's a lot, and she's overwhelmed, but at least there's like a relief in there that she knows that there's a way to at least slightly have an amount of her life still. And so she turns to him and is like, is there anything important that I have not asked that you think I should be knowing?
Well, we've gone over the basics. Keep the secret.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill it. Death is unfortunately a very close companion in this life. But as long as you're not intentionally out there killing mercilessly for no reason, you should be okay. But if death does happen, or if you accidentally drain your victim, you can call either Bernard as your coterie shadow, or for lack of a better term, guardian angel. You can call Bernard, or you can call myself, and we can help get that handled. I think you have a good start on the basics, and I don't want to overwhelm you any more than I already have.
Okay.
So he'll actually pull out the little journal again, tear off a scrap of paper, write down his number, hand it over. If you need me, there's my number. I'm available at any time. And I work out. You've been to Ross's. You've been to the Frostbank Tower, correct?
Yes.
That is where I work most nights. And if that ever changes, it's a ground floor office where I work. I'm called the Seneschal. I'm essentially the vice president of the city, if that makes sense.
All right.
So I work out of the prince's headquarters. But yeah, that's all.
So we were two ships passing in the night the other day.
Quite possibly, yes. I was helping with cleanup after the attack, but I did go to the office. So for all we know, yes. And actually, I do remember seeing Unga and Bunga leaving. the two twins that share a brain, as I call them.
Oh yes, there was
They were
something.
They are the prince's bodyguards. They are very short-tempered, as the Bruja mainly are. But as long as you stay on their good side, you have nothing to fear.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is where I will leave you, my dear. And he'll stand up and hold his hand out to you.
And she takes it and allows him to help get her back onto her feet.
Yeah, and as you kind of stand up and get yourself situated, he will actually bow down and kiss the back of your hand.
Mhm.
It was wonderful to meet you, my dear. Look forward to our relationship.
Thank you very much. It was great. It was fantastic to be able to meet you as well.
And if you allow it, he'll actually tuck your hand into his arm and escort you back to
Mhm.
where Bernard is.
She will, and she just kind of breathes in the night as they walk back.
And as I kind of get back, as Bernard's approached again, Bernard, I return this lovely creature back into your custody. Please take care of her.
Of course.
And you two have a good evening. And he'll kind of walk off and disappear into the night.
All right.
Okay. So what do you do?
And so now she'll turn to Bernard. Is that the task of the evening, or is there?
That is the only one I had.
All right.
But should you have any other questions, I'm sure you have. There's a lot to learn and process, whether you want to deal with that or whether you have questions you feel you need answers to before. I have nothing else going for the evening.
I don't know. That is a good question. Before you got to me at the hotel, I had someone from my former inner circle bringing me clothes and whatnot from my home, so I'll be able to dress more like myself.
That is good.
And I assume that that's not too much of a problem. I might be causing trouble and not knowing it.
No, it shouldn't be. As long as you
Okay.
are not sharing secrets you shouldn't.
Oh, no.
But as was stated, which it was pretty clear Bernard was not close enough to listen in.
Mm-hmm.
Like where he was, he does not seem like he was paying attention to what was going on, but he will reference back to that conversation that she had with the seneschal of, as was stated, you have a public appearance or public persona that will be challenging to maintain. Your hours are shifting to only moonlight hours, as it were. You have new secrets and new, I won't call them responsibilities yet, but new things you'll be called on to do. So as you navigate that, I'm sure there will be some hardships, but that is what I'm here for. I think he introduced that I was your coterie shadow, which is words I'm sure you're not completely sure about.
No, not quite. That was something, a new one.
A coterie is, well, it's a group in our society. It's a group that's put together for a purpose, usually by the prince for some service. They usually have different types. For you, it will be all more of a learning opportunity. It will be you and the others who are sharing your fate. You will be put together to learn together, to rise or fall together. Part of being a coterie is that if one sins, all are punished for that. So you look out for each other. You make sure that everyone in the coterie does well together, that you follow the rules, and to help you with learning what those rules are and accomplishing any task laid out for you. I am your shadow. I am the person that watches after you, that will be your voice to the court and the prince until you're ready to stand on your own. But mostly I'm here to make sure that you are, well, adults and ready to take on any responsibilities that might be placed upon you.
Well, hopefully I don't have anybody else dragging me into death again.
Death is a thing we grow accustomed to in our life. It is a close companion, sadly, but you'll get used to that, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Um, I don't know. There were definitely words that were being tossed that I am I'm not familiar with, but
That is part of
as
the
with
learning
this,
curve. And
exactly.
so, were there some that you remember now that you would like
Um,
definitions for?
not off the top of my head at this present moment, but I'm assuming I'll be able to easily get a hold of you for
Yes.
future questions.
Yes, that is. I will be around, and he'll pull out a business card that is for the bookshop, which I can't remember what the bookshop was called.
I think it's called the Twig. Something with a twig. I'll have to look at the name later.
All right, this will be useful. Um,
Yeah,
and
the Twig Bookshop.
okay. And let me think. No, I think I am presently pretty good.
That is good to hear. But I'm sure you'll have questions. I'm sure you will have. Well, tonight was fairly basic, but you have opened yourself to a whole new world of possibilities, as well as so many other things.
Mhm.
And when you have questions, that is what I am here for.
Fantastic.
I should be rounding up all of you together soon to, well, to make sure that you all have a place to call your own.
That will be good. I assume we are not going to be staying at the hotel for a full-time operation.
No, it's not the worst place, but no.
Oh, not at all.
So as you are heading back, having this conversation that probably fades from business to small talk, Bernard will drop you off back at the hotel. Say goodbyes. Melville will meow his displeasure at being brought out again and not given snacks. How very dare! But yeah, you say your goodbyes with Bernard and head back up to your room. And as we kind of draw the session to a close, is there anything else you want to do? Or anything else you could think of?
Well, I'm assuming that a package was left for her from Clover.
Oh yeah, not just a package. This girl emptied your closet. There is luggage.
Oh, fantastic.
Stacked in the corner.
Wonderful.
And your laptop, work schedule books, everything you would need for the business is there.
Mhm.
You're probably not gonna have any furniture because you're not sure what she actually brought. We brought everything that wasn't nailed down. But yeah, like everything you would need as far as clothes and running the business is stacked nice and pretty in the corner.
Beautiful. And I think at that point, I think Silver will kind of get herself comfortable, climb up on the bed, grab a few of the books for the business, and kind of just sit there and start kind of in her mind trying to figure out how she will attempt to run her operation at night and like shifting things from,
So
day, evening to night stuff.
Yeah, so as you kind of set up your laptop, check your work email, there are gradually more and more frantic emails from Lauren asking where you are, if you're okay. She heard about some big to-do at an illegal party outside of town, and she hasn't heard from you. And they're up until even tonight. There was a few from this morning.
So Silver's going to email her back, let her know that she'll write an email, and it's like, yeah, I was there. Unfortunately, when shit hit the wall, she got hurt, and I got hurt, and I was at at a hospital for a few nights, and am now kind of trying to get back into a settled state, but I'm a little bit rattled.
So yeah, you'll shoot that email off, no problem. It's maybe let's say about 7 or 8 right now. It didn't take you very long. But you'll you know how you get like the news notifications on your laptop if you don't have them disabled?
Yeah.
There's actually headlines about the rave and casualties found and chaos in the city that night. It's said to be from local gang violence, but there were actual news reports, and then there's missing persons. You get Amber Alerts on your laptop. It was not a quiet thing that happened a few nights ago.
No. All right. Yeah. So kind of like mulling that over and being like, holy shit, I was there and died as well, but am still at this point still upright, and that's something to process.
Okay.
In of itself.
Yeah. So with those thoughts in mind, and you're doing your work, I think we can draw the session to a close. And yeah, everybody watching, thanks for coming out. These two are awesome. Felber's on my SPC team, and he cooked a Bernard on his own, and I love what he cooked. He does some excellent cooking. He's been my storyteller before, and he never disappoints. And then, of course, Evie over here. I love role-playing with you. I love watching you role-play. This is so great. I can't wait to see more of you. But let's have a couple of outros, starting with Felber, and working our way back.
Sure. Said I am Felber. I'm Dapper Zombie. I am around server all the time, so come and see us there. You'll see me on other YouTube videos as well as I pop in and out of games. But yeah, I'm here to be Bernard Brandt, who is a helpful person for these young vampires, and we will see who else I get to step into the shoes of who might be less helpful later on.
I don't know nothing about that.
Plotting.
Always.
always. I am even next similar. I am all over the place in the Dark Domain. I am at this point in not just this, but two other shows, soon to be 3. We have Return to Terra, which will be having a new episode at the end of the month. We will also be having the game I run, Candela Obscura, and I assume I need to get my ducks in a row on that, but I assume we'll also be doing an episode for that at the end of near the end of the month. I have Bonnie being able to play that for me, so I get to be like, aha, now I'm in charge. But outside of the Dark Domain, I am a multidisciplinary artist, and it is you can either find me here on the Dark Domain, on the server, or on Blue Sky under Evie Nix.
Okay, and I am Bonnie. I'm the storyteller. Go by Crochet and Guinea Pig on my social medias. If you can't find that username on social media, I'm not there. But yeah, I've been a storyteller here for just a little while, actually. I've run a couple of one-shots. This is my first, not only streamed campaign, my first VTM campaign, and my first campaign that I've ever run. So it's gone off with a bang. I've been having so much fun with these guys, watching them cook up their ideas, watching my SPC team cook up ideas. It's been a massive collaborative storytelling effort, and I could not be more proud of these individuals. And if you want to see more of this, why aren't you on our Twitch channel? Go find the Twitch channel. Subscribe to us. Come join the Discord server. Be a part of this community. Get to play games. Maybe I'll wind up running a game for you. Who knows? Or one of the other awesome storytellers. But yeah, come on, check us out. We have a lot of fun here. We're an inclusive community where love always wins. We're LGBTQ. I am babbling. I can tell my brain is fried, but you get the idea. We're an all inclusive community. Love always wins. Fuck ICE. Fight the power. And good night. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time on Berry County by Night.